Hey, welcome back to Sprague Homestead. So today we're on a little bit of a road trip. We went to pick up our kinders. As you can see, they're kind of sitting in the back. So there are actually two back there. Oh, there's the other one. So the baby just popped up. She's kind of a light gray, and then the older one is about a year old that is black there. So Nikki's driving today, and we left, I guess, about 7:30, 8 o'clock this morning, and are driving down to Northern California, grab the goats. Now we're headed back and stop for some lunch and get back home.
So the baby, her name is Rose. Rose is about 3 months old, so she is not going to be breeding this year. The older one, Ebony, is already over a year, so she is going to be plenty big enough this fall to be breeding. Now Myles, the buck that we've already brought home, is kind of he's a big guy for as young as he is. He was born in March, so what we're going to try and do is breed Ebony somewhere in November, December, and see if Myles is ready. If he's not, we'll probably hold her open. Kinders tend to be year-round breeders for the most part, so we will keep trying until he is ready to breed. Now, most of the time with our bucks, we've had those fellas breeding at like 6 and 7 months, so I'm pretty optimistic that Myles will be big enough and old enough and mature enough to get the deed done. So hopefully, fingers crossed, this next spring we will have our first kinder babies, hopefully.
So I know we haven't put out a video in like the last 2 weeks, and part of that was we had some guests come July 4th that were from Mississippi, somebody I used to work with. They were actually coming up through Portland, going down to San Francisco for a wedding. So they came by, stayed with us overnight. And we're not sure if they did or maybe Nikki's dad did, but somebody brought a flu for us. A nice, yucky flu.
Yeah, so for about 5 days I had fever and joints hurt, just real lethargic, massive headache, and I didn't die. That's the plus side. No doctor visits, no death. But yeah, it was about 5 days of really, really rough times.
So it's been, that really just put us on maintenance, honestly. Between her being sick and not being able to do a lot of the chores, it just meant that I had to kind of pick up the load for probably most of the chores. She was able to get out and help and everything, but it for about 5 days was just a matter of just keeping everything going, because only one person could really do a lot of it.
So because I've been sick, we had an inspiration. We're going to be making a video to talk about coping on the homestead when your partner is ill. This happens to us a couple times a year, and for some reason in the last year it's happened several times to me being sick and Kanan having to handle everything. So look for that in the next couple weeks. We'll be talking about things you can do to kind of make it easier on one another, and yeah, because it's no fun, no bueno.
How do you homestead when you're ill or injured? So good morning. So we got home yesterday and everything went pretty smooth. Goats came out, you know, of course they're a little cautious in that. You can see this morning they're standing across the little stall here from me, but they are doing good. They made it overnight. They've had some great conversations with Myles. You can hear them from the barn and from the house and across the property a little bit, having some chats. So I gave them a little bit of grain. You can see that little bit of grain there is some transition food that they're used to from their old farm they came from. And then here we'll just kind of get them used to. Got some hay, water. We'll just let them settle in at this point. Just let them go. So with the goats home and everybody's in good shape, you can kind of see we've gotten back to a little bit more towards normal. Now Nikki's out somewhere in the back here picking some stuff to dry for the rabbits for the winter. You can see everything's kind of coming up pretty well. Let's go check in with her, see what's going on in the garden. What are you doing?
I'm picking some kale and chard and arugula to dry for the rabbits.
And why are you doing this?
Trying to, I mean, I always grow more than we can actually eat, so it just helps cut the feed costs in the winter. Gives them a little something to chew on other than just the normal pellets and some grass hay and waste not, want not.
You can see behind some of the stuff we've got some tomatoes that we end up buying. Those are on clearance down at one of the local feed stores. So they had some tomatoes on them, so we planted them in some temporary buckets. You can kind of see here, right there. So those are going well. Keeping those watered, kind of a little bit of compost. They're doing well. And then you can see the corn in the back. Now we have tried, I don't know how many years, 3, 4, 2, I don't know.
8.
How many?
8.
We've tried 8 years. 8 years to get corn. We tried in Mississippi, no luck. We've tried here, no luck. This may be the best we've got yet. We can get them to grow up, but they won't really put out the corn cobs. So we'll try again this year. We'll see. If not, if we don't get anything, we basically pull them out and give them to the goats. Goats love them. They are delicious. All right, guys, so that's it from Sprague Homestead. We'll let you get back to your day, and we'll get back to ours. So you can kind of see what we've been up to. Of course, Nikki was sick. We got our kinders in, so there's the trio that we were looking for this year to starting kinders for the goats. And then the garden's going pretty well. So bunnies are doing well, and I have somehow become the cat lord of Sprague River. I started with 2, we're up to 10. There's some unauthorized breeding going on around here, and I'm about to put a stop to it. We'll see you next time from Sprague Homestead.